Once upon a time, in a colorful little village, there lived a blue kitten named Sky. Sky wasn't just any kitten. He had soft, fluffy fur the color of the sky on a sunny day. But Sky felt different from the other animals. They would laugh and say, "Why are you blue? That's so strange." Blue kittens can't be artists. Artists are supposed to be colorful, not just one color. Sky loved to paint, but the teasing made him feel sad. He thought, maybe they're right. Maybe I'll never be a real artist. One day, I was walking by the river and saw Sky sitting all alone. "Hello, Sky," I said. "Why do you look so sad?" "I want to be an artist, but everyone says I'm too different. They say my blue fur is weird and I'll never be good enough." I smiled and said, "Sky, your blue fur isn't weird. It's special. Just like the sky inspires us to dream, your color can inspire your art. Let me show you something." We walked into a magical forest where everything looked like it was painted by the greatest artist in the world. The flowers were bright, the trees sparkled, and even the river seemed to dance with colors. "Look around, Sky," I said. "What do you see?" "I see beauty everywhere. The flowers, the trees, the water. It's all so magical." "Then paint what you see, Sky," I said. "Paint what's in your heart." Sky picked up his brush and began to paint. He painted the flowers, the trees, and even his new friend, me. And something amazing happened. His painting started to glow. The colors came to life, and the forest animals gathered around to watch. "Wow, Sky, your painting is beautiful. We were wrong about you. Your blue fur isn't strange. It's what makes your art so special." Sky smiled for the first time in a long time. He realized that being different wasn't a bad thing. It was what made him unique. And from that day on, Sky became the most beloved artist in the village, inspiring everyone to see the world through his eyes. And that, my little friends, is the story of Sky, the blue kitten who taught us all to believe in ourselves. Remember, it's okay to be different. Your uniqueness is your superpower.
Today, we're going to meet a very special puppy named Max. He's lost his favorite collar, and we're going to help him find it. But guess what? It's not going to be easy. We'll need to search the whole neighborhood. Do you think we can find it? Then stay with me, because this story is full of surprises, teamwork, and lots of fun. Let's begin. Once upon a time, in a cozy little neighborhood, there lived a happy puppy named Max. Max loved his shiny red collar. It had his name on it and a little bell that jingled when he ran. But one morning, Max woke up and realized his collar was missing. He looked everywhere, under his bed, in his food bowl, even in his favorite hiding spot behind the bushes. But his collar was nowhere to be found. Poor Max felt so sad. Just then, I came by to visit Max. I could see he was upset, so I asked him what was wrong. Max told me he had lost his favorite collar. I could tell how much it meant to him, so I decided to help him find it. "Don't worry, Max," I said. "We'll find it together." First, we went to the park. Max loved playing fetch there, but his collar wasn't near the big oak tree or the swing set. I suggested we check Mrs. Bird's garden next. Mrs. Bird is a kind old sparrow who loves her flowers, so we had to be careful not to disturb them. Mrs. Bird hadn't seen the collar, but she let us look around. We searched carefully, but the collar wasn't there. Max started to feel discouraged, but I reminded him not to give up. "Let's check the picnic table next," I said. At the picnic table, we met some friendly squirrels. I asked them if they had seen Max's collar. One of the squirrels thought he had seen something shiny near the big tree by the pond. Max's ears perked up, and we rushed over to check. And there it was, Max's shiny red collar hanging on a low branch. Max was so happy. He wagged his tail and jingled his bell as he put it back on. I gave him a high five and said, "See, Max? Teamwork makes everything easier." And that, my little friends, is the story of Max the puppy and his missing collar. We learned that when something is lost, it's important to stay calm, retrace your steps, and ask for help. And most importantly, we learned that teamwork makes everything easier.
Hello, my little friends. Welcome to another Bunny Tosha Storytime adventure. Are you ready for an exciting story today? Great! Today, we're going to meet a very special turtle named Tilly. She's about to race in the biggest race of the year, but there's just one problem. She's not very fast. Do you think she can win? Well, you'll have to watch to find out. Let's begin! Once upon a time in a sunny meadow, there was a big race called the Forest Frenzy. All the animals were excited to run, jump, and dash to the finish line. There was Max the hare, who was super fast, Zoe the fox, who was very clever, and even Sammy the squirrel, who could jump really high. But there was one animal who wasn't so fast. Her name was Tilly the turtle. Tilly, why are you even here? You're so slow. Hi there, my name's Bunny Tosha. What's your name? I'm Tilly, but I don't think I should be here. Everyone says I'm too slow to race. Too slow? I responded. Who says you have to be fast to win a race? Winning isn't always about being the fastest. It's about trying your best and never giving up. Do you really think I can do it? He said. Of course. Let's get you ready for the race. The day of the race finally arrived. The animals lined up at the starting line, and the crowd cheered loudly. Tilly took her place at the very end, her heart pounding. The race began, and all the animals zoomed ahead, except Tilly. She moved slowly but steadily, one step at a time. Max the hare was so fast, he decided to take a nap halfway through the race. Zoe the fox got lost because she took too many shortcuts, and Sammy the squirrel got tired from jumping so much. But Tilly? She just kept going, one step at a time. Finally, Tilly reached the finish line. The crowd was amazed. They cheered and clapped for her. Tilly had won the race not because she was the fastest, but because she never gave up. See, Tilly? I told you you could do it. You're a true winner. Thank you, Bunny Tosha. I couldn't have done it without you. And that, my little friends, is the story of Tilly the turtle, who taught us that winning isn't about being the fastest. It's about trying your best and never giving up. Remember, no matter how slow you go, you're still winning if you don't stop.
Today, we're going to meet a very special cloud named Nimbus. He's a little shy and a little scared, but guess what? He's about to discover something amazing about himself. Do you want to know what it is? Then stay with me, because this story is full of surprises, rainbows, and lots of fun. Let's begin. High up in the sky, there lived a little cloud named Nimbus. Nimbus was very shy and very scared. You see, he was afraid of storms. Every time the other clouds gathered to make rain and thunder, Nimbus would hide behind the mountains. He didn't want to be part of the storm. But because of that, the forest below was starting to feel very sad. The flowers were drooping, the river was getting smaller, and the animals were thirsty. Something had to be done. The forest looks so dry. I wonder what's wrong. Maybe I should go up to the sky and see if I can help. Hello there. My name is Bunny Tosha. What's your name?
I'm Nimbus, but I'm not very good at being a cloud. I'm too scared to make storms.
Scared? Why are you scared, Nimbus?
Storms are so loud and scary. What if I mess up? What if I hurt someone?
Oh, Nimbus. Storms aren't scary when you understand them. They're just nature's way of helping the world. Without storms, there's no rain. And without rain, the flowers can't grow, the rivers can't flow, and the animals can't drink. You're very important, Nimbus. Come on, let's try something small. Just a little rain. I'll be right here with you.
I did that? Wow! I didn't know storms could be so wonderful.
Nimbus was so surprised. He didn't know he could make rain, and the forest loved it. The flowers started to bloom, the river began to flow, and the animals cheered with joy. But then, something even more amazing happened. Look, Nimbus, you made a rainbow. Isn't it beautiful? See? Storms aren't so scary after all. They're just nature's way of making the world more beautiful. And you, Nimbus, are a very important part of that. And that, my little friends, is the story of Nimbus, the brave little cloud who learned that even scary things can be beautiful. Just like Nimbus, you can be brave too. Remember, it's okay to be scared sometimes,
But don't let fear stop you from trying new things. Who knows?
Let's go! Once upon a time, in a beautiful savannah, there lived a little zebra named Zoe. Zoe had shiny black and white stripes, just like all the other zebras. But Zoe didn't like her stripes. She thought they were boring. One day, Zoe decided to change her stripes. She met a wise old giraffe named Gary. Gary asked her, "Why do you want to change your stripes, little one? They make you unique." But Zoe said, "But everyone has stripes. I want to be different." Gary smiled and said, "If you really want to change, you can try. But remember, being different doesn't mean you have to look different." Zoe didn't listen. She ran to the river and found some mud. She painted spots on herself, just like the leopard. Zoe said, "Now I look like a leopard. This is amazing." But when Zoe showed her new spots to the other animals, they didn't recognize her. The leopard said, "Who are you? You're not a real leopard." Zoe felt sad. She washed off the mud and tried something else. She found some grass and tied it to her back to make a mane, just like the lion. Zoe said, "Now I look like a lion! This is even better!" But the lions didn't think so. One lion said, "You're not a lion. You're just a zebra pretending to be something you're not." Zoe felt even sadder. She sat by the river and looked at her reflection. She said, "Why doesn't anyone like me the way I am?" Just then, a little bird flew down and sat next to her. The bird said, "Zoe, your stripes are beautiful. They help you hide in the tall grass and keep you safe. And they make you special. No one else has stripes exactly like yours." Zoe thought about what the bird said. She realized that her stripes were a part of who she was. She didn't need to change them to be special. Zoe said, "You're right! My stripes are cool. I don't need to look like anyone else." Zoe ran back to her friends and showed them her stripes with pride. She said, "Look! I'm Zoe the Zebra, and I love my stripes." All the animals cheered. They loved Zoe just the way she was. The end! Once upon a time, in a faraway snowy land, there lived a big, fluffy bear named Boris. Boris was kind and gentle, and he loved playing in the snow. But Boris had one little problem. He was very, very afraid of the dark. Every night when the sun went down, Boris would hide under his big paws. "Oh no, it's too dark," he would say. He wished he could sleep peacefully like the other animals. One evening, Boris's best friend, an owl named Oliver, came to visit him. "Boris, why are you so afraid of the dark?" Oliver asked. "Because I can't see anything," Boris said. "What if something scary is hiding there?" Oliver smiled. "Oh, Boris, the night is not scary at all. Come with me and I will show you its magic." Boris took a deep breath and followed Oliver outside. The sky was full of twinkling stars and the moon shined bright like a silver lantern. Fireflies danced around, lighting up the snowy trees. Suddenly, Boris looked up and gasped. The sky was painted with beautiful colors. Green, purple, and blue lights danced above them. "What is that?" Boris asked in amazement. Oliver hooted happily. "That is the Northern Lights. It is a special gift from nature. The night is full of wonders, Boris." "Wow, the night is so beautiful," Boris said. Oliver nodded. "Yes, and look, the stars are always watching over us. You are never alone in the dark." Boris looked around and smiled. "I think I like the night now. It's not scary at all." From that day on, Boris was never afraid of the dark again. He even started playing in the moonlight and telling stories to his friends. And so, Boris the Bear learned that sometimes the things we fear are not scary at all. We just need to see them in a different way.
Once upon a time, in the deep blue ocean, there lived a little fish named Flora. Flora wasn't the biggest fish, and she didn't have the brightest colors like some of the other fish. Every day, Flora would look at the beautiful, bright fish around her and wish she could be just like them. One day, Flora swam near a coral reef where a huge group of colorful fish were playing. Wow, Flora thought. They all look so bright and beautiful. I wish I could be the brightest one. Maybe then everyone would notice me. Flora swam deeper into the ocean, feeling sad. I'm just not special enough, she thought. Why can't I be bright and beautiful like the others? But just as she swam on, something unexpected happened. A huge shark appeared. It was big, strong, and it looked very dangerous. The shark started swimming towards Flora, and she was so scared. But wait, Flora wasn't alone. Her friends, a wise old octopus named Ollie, a gentle dolphin named Daisy, and a brave sea turtle named Timmy, all came to help her. They were all different, with no shiny scales or bright colors, but they were kind and strong. Flora, it's not about being the brightest, said Ollie the octopus. What matters is who you are on the inside, how kind you are, and how you help your friends. Daisy the dolphin nodded. It's your heart that makes you special, not your colors. Timmy the turtle smiled. True courage comes from helping others, not from looking perfect. Flora realized that her friends were right. It wasn't about being the brightest or the most beautiful. It was about kindness, courage, and helping each other. And so, Flora learned that the brightest fish in the ocean wasn't the one with the shiniest scales, but the one with the brightest heart. Once upon a time, in a big, beautiful forest, there was a wide, rushing river. The water sparkled under the sun, and the trees swayed in the gentle wind. The animals loved their home, but there was one problem. The river was so wide that it split the forest into two sides, but they almost never visited each other. Why? Because they couldn't cross the river. And you know what? Sometimes they even argued about which side was better. Oh dear, they didn't understand that both sides were beautiful. But in that very forest, there was a little beaver named Benny. Benny was smart and hardworking. One day, he watched the animals argue and thought to himself, this is not right. We all live in the same forest. We should be friends. But how can we visit each other? I know. I will build a bridge. So Benny got to work. He used his strong teeth to cut logs, carried them to the river, and stacked them carefully. He worked all day and all night. The other animals watched him with big, curious eyes. What is he doing? That looks like a bridge. Can he really do it? Benny didn't stop. He hammered, lifted, and pushed. The bridge got bigger and stronger. Finally, one bright morning, the bridge was ready. Hooray! The bridge is ready! Oh wow! This bridge is strong. Now we can visit each other. The deer and foxes played together. The rabbits and raccoons shared food. The owls and squirrels told stories under the stars. The forest was full of laughter and joy. And from that day on, the animals were no longer divided. They were one big, happy family, all thanks to Benny the Beaver and his wonderful bridge of friendship. What a wonderful story. Benny showed us that kindness and hard work can bring everyone together. Helping others is always a great idea. You are such great listeners. I am so proud of you.
Once upon a time, in a big, beautiful forest, there lived a little hedgehog. He loved to collect food, apples, mushrooms, nuts. He gathered them all and put them in his cozy home under a big tree. But do you know what? Hedgehog never shared. Hello, Hedgehog. You have so many apples. May I have one, please? Hedgehog, shaking his head. No, these are mine. I need them for winter. Rabbit says, oh, but you have so many. Sharing is nice. Hedgehog responds, no, no, no. I worked hard to find them. Then winter came. The forest was covered in snow. Hedgehog woke up and felt very hungry. He ran to his storage, but oh no, the snow had covered everything. He couldn't find his food. Hedgehog looks sad and cold. His stomach growls. Oh dear, what will I do now? I have no food. Oh, Hedgehog, you look so cold and hungry. Come, eat with us. Hedgehog surprised. Really? But I never shared with you. Mouse smiling. That's okay. Friends help each other. Hedgehog eats with his friends, feeling warm and happy. Hedgehog felt something new inside, happiness. He realized that sharing made him feel good. Here, my friends, these apples are for you. Wow, thank you, Hedgehog. From that day on, Hedgehog always shared. And do you know what? He was happier than ever before. Wasn't that a great story? Once upon a time, in a magical forest, there lived a little fawn named Leaf. Leaf loved to explore the forest, sniffing flowers, hopping over streams, and making friends with every animal he met. But there was one thing he had always wondered about: the ancient tree in the deepest part of the forest. It was said to be the oldest tree in the world, and everyone in the forest whispered that it could talk, but Leaf had never been brave enough to visit it. One bright sunny morning, Leaf felt extra brave. He decided that today was the day he would meet the magical tree. With a little jump, he leaped over a small log and walked closer to the glowing tree. As he stood in front of it, he felt a strange, warm breeze. And then, the tree suddenly speaks, its voice deep but kind. Hello, young fawn. I am the Tree of Seasons. I have seen many things in this forest. Would you like to hear some of my stories? Leaf gasps in surprise and excitement. Wow, a talking tree. Yes, please. Tell me your stories, Tree of Seasons. The tree's branches begin to glow, and the forest around Leaf changes. The tree begins to tell its first story. Long ago, in the warm days of summer, the forest was full of laughter. Animals played, and the trees were green and full of life. One year, the forest was so happy that the sun stayed in the sky for many days, and all the animals danced beneath it. But then, the wind began to whisper. It was time for the leaves to change. When autumn came, the leaves turned beautiful colors, the animals gathered food for the colder months, and the forest prepared for the winter. But the most magical thing about autumn was how the trees would whisper their secrets to the wind. And then, winter arrived. The forest was quiet and peaceful, with sparkling snow covering everything. The trees slept beneath the snow, waiting for the warmth of spring to return. But in winter, the animals who were brave enough to stay awake would watch the stars and tell stories to each other around the fire. Finally, spring came. The snow melted, and tiny flowers peeked out of the ground. The forest was full of new beginnings. Every tree, every leaf, and every little fawn like you had a part in the story of the forest. Leaf looks up at the Tree of Seasons with wide eyes, amazed by the magic of the changing seasons. Wow, I never knew the forest had such beautiful secrets. Thank you, Tree of Seasons, for sharing your stories with me. You are welcome, little one. And remember, every season brings its own magic. You just have to be brave enough to see it. Wasn't that an amazing story? Felix loved watching the stars at night. They made the sky look so magical. But one evening, as he lay on his back looking up, something was wrong. There were no stars. The sky was completely dark. Where did the stars go? Felix wondered. Did someone take them? Determined to solve the mystery, Felix set off into the forest to find the missing stars. Felix asked his friends for help. Sophie the squirrel said, I saw a strange shadow flying across the sky last night. Oliver the owl hooted. Something shiny was carried away toward the tallest tree. Benny the bear mumbled sleepily, maybe the stars are hiding because it's too dark without them. Felix followed their clues until he reached the tallest tree in the forest. And who did he find? A big, clever raven sitting in his nest, surrounded by glowing lights. Raven, did you take the stars? Felix asked bravely. The raven nodded. Yes, I collected them. They are so bright and beautiful, I wanted them all for myself. But Raven, Felix said, the stars are not just for one person. They belong to the whole world.
Without them, the sky is sad, and my friends feel lost in the dark." The raven thought for a moment. "But I like having them close to me," he said. Felix had an idea. "What if we find a way for you to enjoy the stars without keeping them all to yourself?" Together, Felix and the raven placed the stars back in the sky, one by one. And to make sure Raven could still see them up close, Felix found a shiny crystal in the forest that sparkled just like a star. "Now you have your own little star, and the night sky is bright again for everyone." Felix smiled. The raven was happy. "Thank you, Felix. You are very wise." As the last star returned to the sky, the whole forest lit up again. Felix looked up and smiled. The stars shine brightest when they are shared. Wow, Felix was so clever. He showed us that sharing makes the world brighter. And Raven learned that keeping everything to yourself isn't always the best way. You are amazing for listening to the whole story. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to hear more fun stories, don't forget to come back next time. I have another exciting tale just for you. See you soon, my little storytellers. Bye-bye.